What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage, and I have another update for you guys. If you saw the YouTube short I published the other day, then you kind of already know, but we're going to talk about another customer having another nightmare experience over at Jack Fab Performance. Now, this customer also did reach out and say, hey, we're willing to do an interview and stuff, so I'm going to try to get that synced up to do as I stop. If you didn't know, I am currently, as of an hour ago, transporting this little thing out and going to be flying back to get the Petty Roosevelt. But anyways, so let's get into it. So customer brought a TrackHawk to Jack Fab Performance, and I'm going to say luckily, but there's nothing lucky about this. It's between 15 and 17,000. We're going to go over the messages here in just a minute as soon as I stop. But you know what? Let's roll the intro. We'll come right back and we'll get directly into it.
For the longest time, whoa, for the longest.
Yo, Percocet, Miley Percocet, Miley Percocet, represent, gotta represent.
All right, guys, we're back. Welcome on back to TK's Garage, and today we're going to talk a little bit about an experience that a customer had, and the customer's name is, well, the username is HPNO300. Now, O as in Oscar, and then 300. Now, he had brought a TrackHawk over to Jack Fab Performance, and let me get the actual date. So his car was actually in the shop for 11 months. And here's the crazy part about this situation, okay? His car was in the shop for 11 months. They don't get his stuff right. They put the wrong parts on it, all kinds of other stuff, right? He goes to the next shop, and they're able to figure it out in like 10 or 15 minutes. Now, the reason why this is important is because it just seems like Jack Fab Performance is a very, it just feels like it's a very unprofessional ass company, me personally. And I say that because, or unprofessional ass shop. And I say that because, you know, it was all fun and games and shits and giggles here recently when they came for Nova and then called her racist stuff in the comments. But here's the thing, you know, when that stuff came out, and major shout out to Nova for posting it publicly. You know, it's one thing for you to just say wild ass shit, it's another for you to get it answered. And when you start calling, you know, beautiful black women Mexicans, that offends two people. One, it offends the black community and you know, black women, and it also affects the Mexican community, because the Mexican community is like, well, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you saying? We're less than? So evidently, motherfuckers was coming to their shop over that shit, and that's what you get. You have to understand that shit that you say has consequences, right? Facts. Now, they swore up and down. We've seen the screenshots. You know, we've talked about what they told me and everything else. We do not have her parts. Her parts are not here. Well, golly. Well, golly. What are these over here? Well, shit, I think those is parts. I'm sorry, but it's just like, you motherfuckers are doing it to yourself, right? And then Jack Fab Performance would like to sincerely provide our condolences to Nova for we do not condone the racist comments that Team Hellcat made. Sorry, every time I say Team Hellcat now, I literally think of that cartoon. America, fuck yeah! Like, it's just like, I'm literally, I can't help it. And if you're worried about me, you're like, oh, TK, you're not driving. The car literally it does all its own shit. I've set my cruise, it just drives. I don't have to touch anything. But, you know, it just sounds like a 5-year-old made it. The same 5-year-old that also said, we're going to soup, as in like Campbell's soup, up your car. So, these are the people that Jack Fab Performance have been dealing with, and supposedly they're just my tuner. Okay, well, your tuner is a racist, bigot asshole who can't spell and obviously can't tune a fucking thing. So, once that happens, you know, all of a sudden, you know, I publish a couple videos, Nova puts all their shit on blast, people start showing up at the shop, and voila, magically, well, golly! Well, look at this shit. There's some parts here. Fuck. Well, I guess we should reach out to her and find out if we can peacefully bring these over to the other shop and not get our ass beat when we bring them over there. Look, here's the thing. All of this shit, if somebody from Jack Fab Performance is watching this, all of this shit you've 100% done to yourself. Even if you fucked up somebody's car, customer service is a motherfucker. It's just facts. You know, it really makes a big difference how you treat your customers. When you are sending pictures of your customers' wives with Photoshop dicks on their faces or dicks going in their mouths and shit, that's not professional. You know, when you tell people fuck you and you steal their racing gas, or you know that someone's paid you 40 or 50 grand to build a car and it leaves your shop in fucking pieces, you deserve all of this shit that you're getting, and that is facts. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some pictures in that I got from Hypno 300 in here of the TrackHawk and the condition it was in and how fucked up it was after it sat there for 11 months. Like, if I brought my car somewhere, or truck, whatever, somewhere to be tuned and like set up maybe a bigger intake or whatever the situation was, right? You know, a different intake, a bigger blower, I don't know, you know, I wouldn't expect it to sit there for 11 fucking months and $17,000 plus. Now I know you're gonna say, holy shit, TK, $17,000. That's multiple 8 balls of coke and multiple weekends at the strip club. Maybe in like Nebraska, I don't know. 17,000 is a good weekend at a strip club in Miami. But I didn't say anything else about any other stuff. But what is crazy is he's probably one of the people who paid the least amount of money to be fucked. Like, the $17,000 he paid was a small lesson. Like, I know of customers that paid over 100 grand to build a race car, and it is a fucking disaster. Or the other guy that paid 50 and his car was in fucking pieces. So, you know, I've been hoping, because, you know, Jack Fab was sending out DMs to cease and desist. I'm just having my attorney send you a cease and desist. Motherfucker, send that shit. I know you Googled my company at this point. You know I'm a defense contractor. You know where my office is. Tell your lawyer to send me a fucking letter then. If you don't like me making these videos, I'm only speaking facts. Discovery and depositions are a motherfucker, because that's what I hope for. You know, if they do jump out the window and they do that, then I get to depose these motherfuckers. You know what? And if you don't know what a deposition is, it means I get to sit there and have these pussies under oath sitting across from me with my attorney, and I can ask them anything. Have you ever sucked a dick? Why is that relevant? I want to know. Have you ever sucked a dick? I just want to know. I can ask you whatever the fuck I want. Now, you can deny it, and I can make the judge force you to answer that question. And the reason why I would ask such a question is because, you know, I don't know, man. Maybe you were too focused on puffing Peters instead of getting people's cars done. So be honest with me here. How would you guys feel if this was your truck, your car, and you saw these wires and stuff and just your car treated like absolute shit?
after you spent almost 20 grand. I would be super mad.
All right. Maybe I was a little out of hand. Nah, fuck it. I wasn't out of hand. I stand on that shit. You're probably doing whatever you was doing. I don't know. But that said, you get basically what the process of a deposition is you get to ask a motherfucker anything you want. Now that goes both ways. The lovely thing for me is I have a security clearance. So, you know, motherfucker can ask me whatever they want and I can literally just say, sorry, you're going to have to follow up with the Department of Defense on that one. So this is why I love civil cases when it comes to me, because I get to ask whatever I want. I don't have to answer nothing. So I love depositions. That said, it's not going to happen. They don't even have enough money in their bank account to refund a customer a simple $5 or $6 grand. They sure as fuck ain't got enough money to hire an attorney. And even if they had an attorney that would do it for them for free, yeah, we'll just spend them into oblivion. So, with that said, needless to say, this customer, Hypno 300 has the HPNO 300 has this TrackHawk in the shop and is there multiple times. And finally, at like the 11-month mark, they say, hey, he says, you know what? I'm just kind of at a point where I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just going to take it somewhere else. I know you guys are busy. He was diplomatic about it. And then he got his vehicle back and they had wiring shit like this. Like, who does hack job fucking wiring? So this is why I say, bring your car to Jack Fab Performance if you want. Yeah, maybe you gain a second or two on the track in that quarter mile. But after you finish the quarter mile, if you make it down the track, and you're coming back around to get that time slip, if your car blows up or catches on fire or your entire wiring harness melts, I warned you, told you so. Look, I know other people have said, hey, when I was there, they did me right. I've had people DM me and say, hey, I brought my car there. I spent about 35 grand with them and everything's been fine. Those customers got there when they were kind of just getting started. So my theory, or where I'm at with this, is I'm guessing they started to get a little bit of name for themselves by having Demonology and Nova in their shop. And then they got a bunch of cars in that they couldn't do. They couldn't handle all the extra work. And they probably already had work before Nova came to the shop. But then they got more work. And then they just couldn't handle it all. That's my guess. But I find it very interesting that, getting back, we'll close out the Nova thing, that they didn't have the parts, but then they found the parts, but then they're not actually her parts. So what does that mean? You guessed it. They took those parts off of somebody else's car and shipped those parts over to the other shop. I didn't clear it with the other shop whether I should mention them in the videos or not, so I haven't done that, but they sent them over to the other shop. Crazy, right? Pulley doesn't match, pulley doesn't fit. So that means they just took parts off of somebody else's car, somebody else's engine is now missing those parts, and they sent them over to try to get her to be quiet. Negative. This customer, what a soldier, man. I mean, $17,000 hit, and then you take it to another shop, and they got to redo wiring harnesses, they got to fix your intake, they got to put the right map sensor on the fucking car. Oh my God. How are you a shop that deals in TrackHawks and Hellcats? I mean, your partner's Team Hellcat. Okay. Whew. I'm sorry. Team Hellcat's almost like hard tuned at this point. It's be professionals. All right. So, it's I can't. All right, so I literally had to take like a 10-minute break and just chill, because this shit is so funny. Like I don't know, maybe that tuning shop has a career in being a clown. I don't know. Maybe he could like sign up for the circus or some shit. I don't know. Maybe he could be an extra on Carlos Mencina's stand-up. He could just be the guy when he goes dee-dee-dee, and they come out. I don't know. Yeah. But that said, you know, he has his TrackHawk in there, and then they go, you know, they're getting to the decision that they're just gonna take it out and take it somewhere else. And the interior is fucking a disaster. Like, the sunroof was not completely closed, I guess, or they opened it, or they didn't completely close it, so now it's rained inside the car. What? It was just dirty, nasty. So what happened? Nova tries to do Jack Fab a solid and evidently cleans and details the inside of the truck so that it can go back in somewhat decent condition. It's not running. I guess when they take it out from Jack Fab, they have to take it to another place, which, by the way, in the first 15 minutes it's there, they realize it has the incorrect map sensor and whatever was going on with the intake, and in like 20 minutes they got it running. Now, they had to do a bunch of other stuff, wiring harness wise and whatnot. They finally got it tuned and got it right. But it's just, where you take your car to the shop is huge. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a bunch of the images and stuff that HPNO 300 added or sent to me, so you can see just how much of a disaster this shit was. Instead of me just showing you the screen, I want you to see it in real time so you can see what I'm talking about. And I did reach out to him, and I think if he's available at some point this week, I should be done driving in like the next, I mean, I got to go up to Oklahoma City, so I'm guessing once I get into OKC, I'll shut it down. And if it's not too late, I'm going to try to get a thing situated where I can start getting these interviews in with customers. I have 11 customers stacked up right now, all with horror stories on money that they spent with Jack Fab Performance. Crazy. I've been looking at their Google reviews. I guess they're getting punished. They're getting punished on their Google reviews. Now, I got to be honest. Let me be clear. If you haven't done business with Jack Fab Performance, I don't recommend you just writing a review to hurt their Google review numbers. And let me tell you why. Not that they do have an attorney, or Jack Fab Performance can afford an attorney, but they could, if they could afford an attorney, they could possibly try to come after you for writing a bullshit review or trying to harm their business. They can't come after me because I'm basically a reporter that is publishing stories from customers that have had nightmare issues with them. So, I mean, they can try. I welcome it. Bring it. Depositions are a motherfucker. You have my address. You know where my contractor company's based. Send me a serve me. Needless to say, let me throw some of these images in here so you guys can see this. And I know I was kind of all over the place because I had the Nova thing that just happened day before yesterday, and I wanted to get that in with this video and kind of like another update and talk about this situation with the TrackHawk. And I want you to see these images and whatnot. And then I'm going to save the screenshots of the conversation between them and Jack Fab Performance for the live streamer interview, because we can go over it in real time, and then I can, you know, talk with that customer, and we can, you know, how did you feel, da, da, da. And let me also say one other thing before we get into the images. You know, I talked to my attorney. I've known David for a long time, former judge advocate general, really good lawyer, and same lawyer that I've used for shit a minute. Like, every person I've gone after and destroyed their social media accounts or just straight up sued, he's handled all of those cases for me. And I told him what was going on. He was like, that sounds like a pretty big class action suit. Now, he did say he does not think there'll be anything to collect. I mean, he could try to seize assets. But one thing I want to let you guys know is if it's something, if you're a customer at Jack Fab Performance and you feel like you're not getting any remedy and you want to try to join a class action suit, let me know in the comments if you're a customer. And what I'll do is, if that's the case, I'll do a live stream with David, which is my attorney. He'll be able to give you his information. He can file the class action suit against Jack Fab and Team Hellcat. And what they can do at that point is they can go to the court to try to seize assets until the case is resolved. So that means if the shop professionally owns any cars that belong to the shop or the owners of said shop, or any assets that the owners own, like homes or anything like that, my attorney can then at that point go to put liens on and or seize, stop sales, all of that shit of all of those assets up into the building and the entire business. So if that is something that interests you, if you feel like you got fucked that hard that you want to protect yourself because you don't think the shop's going to pay you back, let me know in the comments down below, and we'll do a live stream with David, and you guys can get his contact information. He'll probably create like a separate website just for you guys, like Fucked by Jack Fab Performance or something like that. And you know, you guys can go ahead and create your own class action suit and do your thing. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that, but now let's go ahead and get into the images and stuff of everything that happened with HPN 0300's TrackHawk, because it is a fucking disaster.